Hello, everybody. It's Michael Finkley with The Michael Finkley Show.
And I'm Nicole with Conversations with Nicole. You can join me Wednesdays at 9 a.m. on all of my streaming platforms.
Well, Nikki, don't forget about The Michael Finkley Show, Mondays, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the CTR Media Network.
Join us.
Hi, everybody. I'm Chief Meteorologist Ed Piotrowski with ABC 15, and you're watching The Michael Finkley Show.
It's finally here. My brand new single, Biggest Dream Come True. Now available on all streaming platforms. Next Finkley, Arthur and TED Talk speaker Bernard J. Owens Jr. stops by, and he tells us what's next. Plus, Community Spotlight Series, all new Finkley, Monday.
There's a new familiar face this time. Say hello to the new daytime. See it everywhere you go. New and the greatest show. It's no other than the Michael Finkley Show. There is no other. He's like no other. I'm so glad that someone resonates with me. Come celebrate with me. It's tuned to
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to The Michael Finkley Show. Now, y'all, my next guest, I think he is my cousin, but we'll talk about that later. He is an author, a TEDx speaker, and a mental health professional. He is none other than Bernard J. Owens. How are you?
Hey, Michael, thank you so much for having me on, man. I appreciate it.
You are so welcome. So, you probably don't remember me, but I saw you back in May at a Mother's Day brunch.
Oh, yeah, of course.
You actually got on stage and you read an insert from your book.
Yeah.
And I tell you, you left everyone in awe, and you left everyone with a little tear coming down because of your realism. You're very authentic in what you do. So thank you for bringing your talents to literacy. Because it's
Wow. I really appreciate that. Thank you. That was a great time. Mother's Day.
It was. It really was. So I must say, why is mental health important to you?
It's important to me for a lot of reasons. Professionally, it's because that's what I do every day. I work in mental health crisis intervention, self-harm and suicide intervention and prevention. So it's professionally very important to me, but it's also very close to my heart as a two-time survivor of self-harm and someone who's tried to end their own life in the past. So now that I'm working in the field, I not only have a career affinity for what I'm doing, but also have a personal affinity, because a lot of the stories that I see myself in the clients that I work with. So it's not just a career choice. For me, it's passionate. I left Delta Airlines at 42 years old and enrolled in graduate school just to do this work. So I love what I'm able to do, and the team and I, the care that we're able to provide.
Can you say second chance? Wow.
Yeah.
Second chance. When did it become real for you? When did you really hone in to say, you know what, I want to do this, but I know that it starts with me? When did you start dealing with you?
You know, I was at Michigan State University and had a mental health crisis of my own, where I was involved in some self-harm and tried to end my life. And after that, one of the conditions of staying on at the university was that I enroll in some sort of therapy or counseling. And it really was something something amazing that emerged out of that crisis. And I was able to formally get the help that I need. It was more than just trying to pray it away, more than just talking to friends about it, more than just trying to self-medicate with alcohol or whatever else. It was a formal, concrete approach to healing. And that's what changed things for me. Not that all those other things don't have their place, but for me, that's where the journey really began. And that was some 30 years ago now.
Wow.
Yeah.
So with this second chance, right, that has been provided to you, right, to help others within the health of mental, the health of physical, what type of feedback do you usually get from individuals that when you tell your story or can relate to them? What kind of feedback do you receive?
Usually I think people are more willing to open up and discuss what's really troubling them when they know that you're willing to put yourself on the line and share authentically what you've been through. And so a lot of the connections I've had with clients has been just because I've been appropriately sharing my story. And when I say appropriately, of course, there's a context that you always, if you're going to disclose personal information in a client therapist role, there's always certain ways that you do it and go about that. But a lot of my colleagues aren't willing to take that step for whatever reason. And, there are different approaches to therapy, and everybody has a different approach to how they want to receive therapy as well. So a lot of the comments and things that I get from people is just the appreciation for being willing to share what I've been through.
And again, I can't stress this enough. What you do is so important. So the big question from years to come, why is mental health important?
Wow, mental health impacts us all, right? Top athletes in the world, they may not always divulge, but one of the first things I'm sure they work on is mental health and mental wellness and acuity to be able to do what they do physically, because the body follows the mind and vice versa. So mental health is important in a lot of contexts, just in terms of how we function in society, how we get along with families and coworkers and people that we care about. When you start to take care of yourself, you're a better human being to the world. And I also like to tell my clients that, there's a lot of stigma around mental health. I like to share the idea that mental health is no different than any other problem or ailment that you might face. If you broke your leg and went to the hospital to get it set in a cast, you wouldn't be judging yourself because your leg was broken. And sometimes we do that with mental health. I'm feeling depressed and I'm judging myself because I'm feeling depressed. So, sometimes we can do a compound thing that isn't helpful at all.
You really said some things here, right? Going back to the self-care, right? When it comes down to mental health, I was just having a conversation with a cousin of mine, and we were talking about our family history and how sometimes in families, right, we don't say certain things, we don't talk about certain things. But I feel like because of COVID, we became a little bit more woke, right, to the aspect of mental health. How does that merge with our physical health?
In so many ways, Michael. I mean, I spoke recently just about, as a matter of fact, the Surgeon General has declared an epidemic with regard to loneliness, misunderstanding, and isolation, which are directly linked to physical health. Being engulfed in loneliness can decrease your lifespan. It can cause hypertension, diabetes, and other quantifiable medical conditions. And the Surgeon General is calling for us to be more interactive and figure out ways to be with people who don't have anyone, or who are with people and don't have the ability to connect. So it really is something that all of us can do. And I think the pandemic just made the problem worse because we were closed up and away from each other in ways that we hadn't been before.
Wow. That's kind of news to me, because you never know, so people always tell us that, whatever you think or go through, it can affect everything. And literally, those two concepts work interchangeably, because it does affect your being, right?
Yes.
It definitely affects your being. So how can we prevent some of these things from happening besides medication, right? What can we do?
Some of the things, well, let me start with this. A lot of people ask me, how can I help a loved one who is dealing with an emotional or mental crisis?
Yeah.
And one of the first things I always like to say is, if you want to help someone that you think is going through something, ask them how they are doing, how you can help, and then stop talking. Let them talk. Let them tell you what they're experiencing. And when I say stop talking, Michael, I also mean stop talking to yourself. Stop your internal dialogue while they are talking. Be present and listen to them. And don't try to fix it. Just be present. And that in seminary is what we call the ministry of presence. Just being present with someone and listening to what they're saying and stopping your internal conversation so you can be there with them fully. So that's one of the first things we can do to help people that we think are suffering. One of the things we can do for ourselves if we're dealing with some mental health or emotional challenges is seek help. Now more than ever, it's so much easier to receive help right in your home. I'm proud to say I open my laptop twice a month and log on to speak with my mental health counselor. And it's just the maintenance that I do to feel well, just like you go to the gym to feel well, just like you try to eat better to feel well, just like you brush your teeth to keep yourself clean. There are things that we have to do in terms of maintenance and hygiene that also apply to our mental health.
Oh wow, another mouthful said. Because I even caught myself going into one of those arenas where I didn't want to go anywhere. So many things have happened this past year, and
Yeah.
still am. Right, I didn't want to go anywhere. I just want to be by myself. But I felt health wise that what, something's going on. The chest pains and all that kind of good stuff. I wasn't eating like I was supposed to. And so now it's clicking from this conversation. It's like, okay, I had to literally get up. I had to literally force myself to get up and do some things, get out there
Yeah.
and take in some sun or go down the street and visit some family, that kind of thing. So all this is clicking for me. So this is helping me. I hope it's helping. I hope it's helping that you're watching. It's really helping me. What resources are out there? Because there are a lot of different resources that can assist with our mental and our physical health as well. What's out there?
I think with regard to mental health, if you have someone that you trust that is seeing someone already, you can ask them. That's one of the ways. It's kind of like any other thing, right? Like, who's your doctor? Who do you go to? Who do you know? And so word of mouth is one way, but if you're not comfortable with that, feel free to Google and Google specifically what you're looking for. If you're looking for a Black female therapist, because that's who you think you'd be comfortable with, Google those in your area. Or if you have health insurance, you can look on the back of your insurance card, call your provider and ask them who's in network that meets the parameters that you're looking for. So there are several different ways to go about it. If you don't have insurance, there are community mental health resources in most major cities around the country, right? I work for one of those in the Washington, D.C. area where many of my clients are uninsured. And so there are resources, but it's up to the consumer to get themselves out there and look and be educated in how they want to approach it, because it really is your life and your happiness. And you don't have to tell anybody about it. You ain't got to talk about it. You don't have to discuss it with anybody unless you want to. It's something that's very personal and will really benefit you.
Exactly. And another key point there, as you were talking, because again, I'm going back into my own being. I'm like, I need to talk with somebody. I need to talk with somebody. We like, oh my gosh, we love Jesus, but he put people on down here to talk with us. So yeah, I get it. I definitely get it. So I hope that you listening and watching are taking heed to this. And what I love about what you do, Bernard, is that you bring your experiences and your real experiences in life to what you speak about and what you write about. So I have to talk about this book, right? The only thing wrong with you is that you think something is wrong with you.
Amen to that.
Where did that come from?
What's up, everybody? It's your girl Mila, lead singer of 702, and you are watching the Michael Finkley Show. Where my girls at?
Hey, don't you violate me.
On the next Michael Finkley, imagine going on a family birthday trip and the unthinkable happens.
So on July 6th, which was my oldest son's 17th birthday, we lost both our sons, ages 12 and 17, on that particular day.
Hello Again founder Dominique McFarland tells her story. Next Finkley. Looking for some of the best soul food right here in Mullen, South Carolina? I promise you, come on down to Garden Alley.
Our grape salad fabulous, our water gate, our potato salad, our chicken is fresh, macaroni and cheese is salted to perfection. I haven't found anything that's not great. Best ever.
Banana pudding, cakes, pies. Selection is huge. Garden Alley is an awesome place to eat. I really love it.
Come by and see the amazing staff at Garden Alley, downtown Mullins.
CTR Media Network is now accepting new podcasters to join our growing network that's reaching 350 million global listeners. Have you heard? CTR Media Network offers podcast production, podcast training, distribution, and product placement. Book us for your next event or schedule an interview with CTR Media Network podcasters today. To learn more, go to ctrmedianetwork.com.
So I have to talk about this book, right? The only thing wrong with you is that you think something is wrong with you.
Amen
okay,
to that.
Where did that come from?
So you mentioned earlier when we were talking about Jesus, I think for myself, where that title came from, I know where it came from, but I was raised for many years by my paternal grandmother, who didn't go to therapy and didn't do the things that I'm talking about, but she was a believer in something larger than herself. And so she said to me one day when I was going through whatever I was going through as a young man, the only thing wrong with you is that you think there's something wrong with you. And she meant that in a way that we come to this world fully shaped and formed in terms of everything we need. But then as we grow, the world throws things at us, or we interpret things or misinterpret things. And then we start to feel like we're not worthy or there's something wrong. So, I want to be clear. She didn't mean that in a you don't need a therapist type of way. She meant that in a way of you're whole and divine as a creature on this planet. So, and that's what it means. The only thing wrong with you is that you think there's something wrong with you. And when you start there, then you can build on that and improve, not change, not be someone different, but improve on who you are and grow and expand. Yeah.
I love that concept because, life is all about growing. Life is all about improving, right? I stay away from people that say, I learned everything I need to learn. And why are you still here? Why are you still living? As long as you're breathing and learning about something, what else should we gain from reading this book? How should we feel? And what should we take away as we read this book? Because there's a lot of good stuff in here.
The book is fun, right? Like it was a lot of fun to write. It was an emotional ride, roller coaster ride at times, but it's also fun because growing up a child of the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, and coming into my own, there are songs throughout my life songs and television shows that kept me sane. When I was depressed as a child, I watched a lot of television. I listened to a lot of music on the radio. And so the great thing about the book is it really is a fun ride as I chronicle my life, not with dates and times, but with songs that were occurring at the time. So, so there's that. And also there's a deeper meaning than just the songs. There are lessons that I've learned that are universal lessons that I like to impart to the reader so that they can apply them to their own lives. And there's a little bit of homework in there too. So it's got a little bit of everything.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
And it's a great read. It definitely is a great read. I was able to read passages from it, and I tell you, it allows you to reflect on self as well. When you finish this book, what did you learn about yourself that you didn't already know?
When I finished the book, I think I learned that I was capable of doing much more than I ever thought I was. And I'd learned a lot more than I thought that I knew. But one of the biggest things from that in terms of professional endeavors, anybody's thinking about writing a book or doing something major like that, don't tell everybody. Just keep it small, keep it to yourself, do your work, take your book, your laptop to a coffee house and write a little bit at a time. And then you build your confidence that by the time it's done, it doesn't matter who you tell because you're done with it. So that I also learned that about myself. The things that are important to me, sometimes I'll keep it close to the vest until I'm ready to, to share that. Because the world can be hard on you sometimes and not even meaning to.
Can you say that one more time? Listen, that part.
The world can be hard on us sometimes. Even people who are well-intentioned can pile their stuff onto you without meaning so. So you can say, you're gonna star on Broadway if you're a singer or something. And the first thing some of the closest people will say to you is, "How are you gonna do that?" So that's just a little lesson that's also in the book. Keep some things to yourself and work on them.
And again, this book reflects who you are as a being. And you talked about some of the things that you went through, right? Depression and, heartbreak and generational curses, that kind of thing. Do we ever overcome these things, or do we have to deal with these things on a daily basis to kind of, recover?
You know what? That's a great question, man. You know what I want to say to you? Why would you want to get over them? You want to move past them, but you want to incorporate that into your being. I don't want to get over the things that I've been through because they make me who I am to sit here with you. Just like you, they're a part of who you are. I like to say my eyes are brown. It's a part of who I am. I don't want to change it. It is who I am. So the things that have happened to you in your life, you're still here. They have made you who you are.
You're gonna make me cry, sir, because that is great. We don't look at it in that sense. It's like, okay, I was depressed. I gotta get over this, right? I have to get over this. But there's a lesson in that, right? There's a lesson in that, and there is a testimony in that as well, because we can share that with other people that may think that they're by themselves.
Right. And you're not. And I think that's the biggest fraud that's being perpetrated on us, not just as Americans, not just as Black folks, but as people in the world. The biggest fraud being perpetrated is that everybody doesn't have something that they're dealing with. Everybody has something that they're dealing with, even if it could be career, it could be family, it could be finances, it could be health, but everybody is dealing with something. The gag is,
the gag.
To quote Kiki Palmer, the gag is nobody's telling you about that.
Yeah.
They're showing you how wonderful life is on Instagram, how great life is on TikTok and other social media platforms, and you don't get to see behind the scenes. So, and maybe that's not for everyone to share, but if you have that knowledge when you're viewing those platforms, it gives you a different perspective, and it also kind of neutralizes the idea that you need to be comparing yourself to somebody else.
Oh my gosh, that's another show. But yeah, definitely. And I feel that's a cool segue to your TEDx as well. Everything you thought you knew about your parents is dead wrong. What mindset were you in when you came?
And I was in the mindset of someone who had learned so much about myself, but at the same time, as much as I wanted people to see me for who I wasn't always giving the benefit of the doubt to other people. And so the TED Talk is only about 17 minutes, but it really is one of the largest lessons of my life in terms of learning that my parents were not who I wanted them to be. They were their own beings. And once I could see them as not my parents, but as Bernard Sr. and Susan, which are my parents' names, as people, as individuals, as human beings, it helped me heal the relationship with them. But the truth is, it really helped me heal a lot of myself because I understood them and understood myself a lot better. So I think that can be applied to so many areas where we have strife or misunderstanding or whatever we have going on with other people. Maybe the relationship will never be what you quite imagined you wanted it to be, but it can be better when you take the time to try to empathize and put yourself in their shoes.
Whoa, a lot of self-reflection here. And I feel that's what it's all about. If we're not effective for ourselves, how can we be effective for others? So I love the concepts that you have here. What you've done so much, author, speaker, what's next for Bernard?
Well, a little bit of rest as we close out 2023 here soon. Can you believe the year is almost over?
Oh, that's great.
And then I'm gearing up for some big new projects that are in the works. So those things, and I'll be posting that on social media and things like that, doing more book promotion. So yeah, I'm excited. This has been really cool to do this from a career perspective, but more so rewarding in terms of the effect and impact that I see that it's having on other people who thought that they were going through some of these things by themselves,
Bernard, are you proud of yourself?
That I don't think anyone's asked me that. I don't know that I'm proud of myself, but I'm proud to know that my parents are proud, if that makes sense. And I'm saying my parents are proud. My mom passed away a year ago, and that's a large part of what motivates me to do what I do. But even though she's gone and wasn't able to see this, I know that she's proud of me. So that makes me happy more than me being proud of myself. So, yeah.
Oh, I love this. How can the Think fam purchase this amazing book, and how can we follow you on social media?
Oh, okay. Well, on social media, on Instagram, I'm Bernard Owens Jr., not to be confused with Senior. And on Amazon. It is Bernard Owens Jr. The book title is The Only Thing Wrong With You Is That You Think There's Something Wrong With You. And then, of course, you're for free. You can go see the TEDx on the YouTube channel. Everything you thought you knew about your parents is dead wrong. So those are 3 places, and I'll be updating social media with the things that are coming up soon once those things are finalized.
I have to ask this because, again, in the beginning we talked about second chance, right?
Yeah.
You at the age of someone in their 40s decided to do a revamp of themselves. How was your mental even back then to pursue something that you knew nothing about, right? And that you were just taking that leap of faith in going into?
I think at 42, I'm 52 now. So at 42, when I enrolled in grad school there in Atlanta at Emory, I had a little bit of imposter syndrome. First of all, everybody was younger than me in class because they had come straight from undergrad to graduate school. So there was a little bit of that. And for maybe the first out of 3 years, I thought someone was going to tap me on the shoulder and, tell me, hey, it's time for you to go. We figured it out. But by the second and third year, I completely felt like I belonged, right? And so my mental state evolved as I evolved. As I took chances, I became stronger. And I think that applies to everybody. If you take chances and step out there, and you're not going to always know how to do stuff. You're not going to always know how to write a book. You're not going to always know how to do a TED Talk, but you take these incremental steps and look for good people along the way, because nobody does anything by themselves. It all comes together, whatever it is you want to do.
You got to come back. That means you have to come back so we can talk some more, because I'm really enjoying this. Bernard J. Owens, my cousin. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for being with us. We appreciate you so much.
Thank you. Look forward to speaking with you again, man. I really appreciate you having me on.
You're very welcome. Big fan. Don't go away. Back in a moment.
Hey everybody, it's Maurice Solo. I'm the assistant director and play doctor to Rotten Apple, the stage play, and we're rocking with the Michael Finkley Show.
Hi guys, welcome to Awaken. We wanted to serve the city of Mullins. We are church owned, and we felt like a coffee shop was such a huge need in the city of Mullins. There's nowhere for people to just come, get a cup of coffee, sit with friends, maybe do some work on the laptop. And so we feel like it was a service that we could give back to the city. Well, our hope is that people will feel calm, that they'll feel welcome, that it'll be a place where they can come and just clear their mind.
We come here twice a day. That's how good their smoothies, their coffee, their lattes, frappes, delicious. I would love the atmosphere here. If I had time to come and just sit and relax, I would. It's awesome.
One thing that I really love about it being here is just the cozy environment. It's so inviting. I can come in here and I can get my schoolwork done, a good coffee and a good meal. But I'm just really thankful that they're here and that I have a good place to go.
We're open Tuesday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. and Saturday from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Awaken Coffee Bar, downtown Mullins.
What's going on? What's going on? You in my car? Oh, my bad. I thought you wanted some Seegers Promotion. Seegers Promotion? What's that? It's a company that we make anything that you want. What you mean anything? Like, you know how you walk around like you're blank? Yeah. Shake it off your shirt. What you mean? Take this off your cup. Seegers Promotions. Wait, y'all just did this? Just that quick. Hey, y'all, wait, hold on. So y'all can do anything real fast. Seegers Promotion. Can y'all put a logo on it? Say it again. Seegers Promotion, we can do anything fast, anything in a hurry. Seegers Promotion. It's very creative. Wait, I didn't do that. I didn't know that. Y'all move fast like that. That's how we had. We had a blue cup right there. It's the blue pill. Wait, how y'all got the same cup? I already got the same cup for you. It's already made for you. Seegers Promotion. We got nerd toys, baby. He can't make this pen have nothing on it right now. Yes, he can. Watch the motion. If he already knows. Consider what you're asking for. And tell him Seegers Promotions, correct? Hold on. Y'all move fast. Hold on. I got some. You can't put your logo on this right now. If Seegers Promotion, that means y'all legit. Can you rip me out the plastic? He want it on there? We'll put it on there. Turn it over. Now y'all can brand new. SeegersPromotion.com. Make sure y'all go shop. Get anything you need. Seegers Promotion.
Hi there, I am Lolita Molina. I am an actress, author, advocate, if you will, and you're watching The Michael Finkley Show.
On the next Michael Finkley, imagine going on a family birthday trip and the unthinkable happens.
So on July 6th, which was my oldest son's 17th birthday, we lost both our sons, ages 12 and 17, on that particular day.
Hello Again founder Dominique McFarland tells her story. Next Finkley.